Mrs. Dahl here with another story. All right, this is one of my personal favorites, and it's not just because it has a dog, but because it has a happy ending. So in book terms, we call that a solution. Solution. So if there's a solution in the story, there also is a problem. All right, so while I'm reading this story, I want you to think, what's the problem in this story? And also, what's the solution? So how is that problem solved? All right, you might also be thinking about what connections you have with this story. We call that a text or book or print to self connection, text to self connection. See, so this story is called McDuff and the Baby. So there's a dog and there's a baby. So I'm guessing the dog's name is McDuff since the title is McDuff and the Baby. All right, sit back, get comfy, get cozy, and think about, like I said, that problem and the solution while I'm reading this story. Enjoy. McDuff and the Baby, written by Rosemary Wells, illustrated by Susan Jeffers, published by Developmental Studies Center. Every night, McDuff slept on his very own soft blanket right at the foot, or end, of Lucy and Fred's bed. At breakfast, Fred read the comics out loud to McDuff. In the afternoons, Lucy walked McDuff in the woods where he could smell skunk trails in the leaves. After supper, they all sat on the sofa together and listened to music from the stars on the radio. Every day, in every way, McDuff was happy. But one day, a stranger arrived. It was a baby. The baby kept Lucy and Fred hopping, or busy, all day long. There was no time to read the morning comics out loud. The carriage, or stroller, would not roll on the woodland path, so they had to walk on the street. All the neighbors admired, or liked, the new baby. In the evenings, the baby interrupted the radio concerts. She woke everyone up in the middle of the night. Lucy and Fred hoped McDuff would love the new baby, but the new baby pulled McDuff's beard, and he did not want to be nice. McDuff growled at the baby from across the room. The baby just laughed. McDuff gave the baby terrible squinting looks. The baby didn't mind at all. McDuff stopped eating. "McDuff has stopped eating," said Lucy. "I bet he misses the comics," said Fred. Over cereal and fruit, Fred read the newspaper aloud to McDuff. Then Lucy walked McDuff in the woods. There were hundreds of skunk footprints in the wet leaves. After supper, Lucy and Fred gave McDuff his favorite treat, a vanilla rice pudding with sausage slices. Then they took the radio outside. In the dark of the garden, all four of them sat on lawn chairs and hummed to the music from the stars. "Woof," said McDuff. "Woof," said the baby. So what do you think? Was that one of your favorites too? So one of my favorites. Well, what did you come up with? What was the problem in this story, McDuff and the Baby? Yeah, the problem was that McDuff was feeling all left out when the baby came along, when the family had the baby. McDuff was feeling all left out. He wasn't getting to do some of his favorite fun things with his family. And what was the solution then? Because it had that happy ending that I like so much. What was the solution in this story? Did you hear that? Yeah, that was great. At the end, they figured it out and they started getting along. McDuff is a good puppy, that he was helpful and flexible that way. All right, and you might have had a text-to-self connection. Maybe you have a dog, or maybe in your life you had a younger brother or sister come along and you kind of felt the same way McDuff felt. Is that you, some of you? It's a text-to-self connection. All right, that's why we like reading so much. We can relate to it in our own lives. Thanks for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Until next time.